With the NBA trade season just starting off and the deadline less than 2 months away, things are surely heating up and getting interesting. And in today's video, we're bringing you the latest scoop on everything from Damian Lillard's wishes to acquire Ben Simmons to the Chicago Bulls COVID outbreak. Make sure to stay tuned till the end as we unpack all of this and more. First up, Lillard's vision. Damian Lillard has a lot on his mind for what could be next for his current team, the Portland Trail Blazers, and one of those is wanting to have Australian point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, Ben Simmons, traded to them, but it seems like it might not be able to work out the way many want it to. For the Portland Trail Blazers, the news cycle does not appear to be slowing down. Following the sacking of President and General Manager Neil Olshey last week as a result of an inquiry into his workplace behavior, attention has switched back to star guard Damian Lillard and his future with the team. Lillard has always stated that he wants to play for the Trail Blazers for the rest of his career, but there were whispers this summer that his attitude on the subject was softening due to Portland's lack of postseason success during his 10 years there. Despite the fact that Lillard hasn't requested a trade, he made it obvious throughout the summer that he hoped to see improvements to the team and the quality of play. That didn't really happen though, and the Trail Blazers are currently 11-13 with the league's worst defense. It is said that Lillard has become irritated with Portland's performance, and that tension looks to be on the increase with first-year head coach Chauncey Billups and the players as a result of the Blazers' slow start this season. On Twitter, Lillard angrily refuted that story, and yet the Blazers don't appear to be improving from past seasons, and their defense is worse this season than it was under former coach Terry Stotts last season. Is Ben Simmons on board the Trailblazers ship? Philadelphia 76ers All-Star guard Ben Simmons, who hasn't played for the Sixers this season and had hoped to be dealt before the season began, is one guy who might likely help Portland's defensive difficulties. According to Sam Amick and Shams Charania of The Athletic, Lillard has shown interest in playing with Simmons. The Blazers and Sixers had been rumored to be exploring trade deals in recent months, including one that would send Simmons to Portland in return for C.J. McCollum, 3 first-round selections, and 3 pick swaps, but Portland quickly dismissed the proposal. However, with Olshey gone and the Blazers starting a new search for a club president, Charania and Amick believe a deal of that scale is improbable right now. However, that doesn't mean something can't get done down the line, whether in a trade for Simmons or other players. By the league's February 10th trade deadline, Portland may still make moves to strengthen its lineup and keep Lillard pleased. If no improvements are made before the trade deadline, Lillard's choice to accept a supermax deal this summer will be scrutinized. If he doesn't sign it, it will only increase the chances that Lillard will want to play elsewhere in the future. Lillard has reportedly had his eyes on Simmons for some time now, but he also has shown interest in Dallas Mavericks' Luka Doncic. We would love to see this power duo, Lillard and Doncic, dominate the court as much as the next person, but unfortunately Doncic reportedly signed an extension for his contract with the Dallas Mavericks, which is reportedly a hefty $289 million. What would it take to land Ben Simmons for the Trail Blazers? We don't know about you, but talks of this potential duo certainly has us all excited, so let's talk a little bit more about this amazing scenario that could unfold. For 2 reasons, any deal for Simmons would almost certainly include C.J. McCollum. 1, McCollum's $30.9 million and Simmons' $33 million salaries are practically the same, making salary comparison simple. 2, the 76ers are reportedly seeking a star in exchange for Simmons. Despite the fact that McCollum has yet to be named to an All-Star team in his career, he is the closest the Trailblazers have to a star on their roster beyond Lillard. Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard, the dynamic duo of our dreams? They certainly have the potential to mesh well together on the court. There's no doubt that Simmons would majorly help out Portland's defense. For almost a decade, the Trailblazers have been one of the league's best offensive teams, but they've battled on the defensive end. This season's no different. The Trailblazers are dead bottom in the NBA in defensive efficiency, allowing 113.3 points per 100 possessions to their opponents through 24 games. The Trailblazers have been playing a much more aggressive style this season, as Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer recently detailed, but it hasn't exactly succeeded. Simmons wouldn't be able to cure all of Portland's defensive issues, but he would make a significant improvement. He rapidly established himself as one of the league's best defenders, earning All-NBA Defensive First Team honors in back-to-back seasons and finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. His mobility and overall disruptiveness would be extremely beneficial to the Trailblazers. In any case, Lillard reportedly labeled Simmons as one of the league's best 3 perimeter defenders. He's well aware of his proclivity towards hawking balls. On the opposite end of the court, because of the amount of attention he attracts from the perimeter, Lillard is the ideal player to combine with Simmons. Simmons and Joel Embiid are vying for the same real space in Philadelphia, and both of them are dominating paint scorers. Playing with Lillard in Portland wouldn't be as difficult. Analyzing Lillard and Simmons' potential. Pick and rolls between the two could be explosive if the proper players surround them. Simmons is a superb passer out of the short rolls, and Lillard frequently draws double teams. Handoffs would have the same effect. Simmons' transition play would also give the Trailblazers a fresh dynamic. Few players in the open court exert as much pressure on opposing teams as Simmons, and the Trailblazers haven't gone out on the break as often under Lillard. If McCollum is moved, This may help compensate for some of the offensive firepower the Trailblazers would lose. With Simmons and Jusuf Nurkic on the court, the Trailblazers are sure to have some spacing concerns, but they might attempt to trade Nurkic for a floor-spacing center. Nurkic's current deal expires this season, so he may gain traction as an expiring contract if nothing else. Otherwise, they may use Larry Nance Jr. at the 5 to provide Simmons with a strong three-point shooter and disruptive defender in the front court. The addition of Simmons and Nance Jr. to the front court should help the Trailblazers find the ideal mix of scoring and defense. How far would the Trailblazers go for Simmons? It's impossible to judge whether Wojnarowski's update on Friday is true evidence that Philly's attitude has evolved until something more concrete than rumor mills churning happens. When discussing the issue with Simmons, 76ers president of basketball operations Daryl Morey remarked not long ago that people should buckle up, making it apparent that he wants someone who can make a difference in return. Does McCollum have what it takes to be a game changer? That is a question only Morey can answer. Meanwhile, Lillard's answer to the idea that he's become irritated with Portland's performance was brief and to the point. We think it's safe to say that there's still a lot of work to be done. COVID tames the Chicago Bulls. Since a COVID outbreak has put 10 of the league's players on the bench, the NBA has postponed the next 2 Chicago Bulls games to allow the team to give players recovery time and prevent further spread. The NBA will reschedule the Bulls-Pistons game on Tuesday in Chicago and the Bulls-Raptors game on Thursday in Toronto for future dates as the season's first game cancellations. According to sources, the Bulls were eager to have the league grant them relief with the postponements and gain the support of the Chicago Department of Public Health, which influenced the league's decision. The Bulls were also down to a league minimum of 8 players after forward Alize Johnson tested positive and entered protocols on Monday, and some of those weren't even among the top regular rotation players. Johnson joins Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Troy Brown Jr., Kobe White, Javonte Green, Matt Thomas, Derrick Jones Jr., Ayo Dosunmu, and Stanley Johnson on the league's health and safety protocols. A player, once having entered the league's protocols, is also required to be in isolation and enter quarantine for around 10 days until 2 negative COVID tests have been given within a 24-hour time frame. Since the outbreak began at the beginning of the month, the Bulls have added at least 1 new player to the health and safety protocols 3 days in a row. We hope the Bulls get well soon. And that's all we have for you guys today. Let us know your thoughts on Ben Simmons, possibly joining Damian Lillard to make the dream team, potential trades, and everything else in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye next time.